Well, what's up guys, DMcG here and welcome to episode 4 of my Madden 15 Ultimate Team series. A couple of new additions to the squad this week. First off, we're going to pick up Flashback DRC to be our new CB2. He's going to be replacing old Stonehands Byron Maxwell, who you might have seen in episode 1, gave up a couple of really costly deep plays. DRC is actually a 3-point downgrade and has significantly lower zone coverage than Maxwell, but at 6'2" with 97 jumping, 97 speed and 95 excel, we're hoping he's going to come in and win more of those one-on-one matchups. The second player we're going to pick up is MVP Eric Berry. So we're going to play him. Well, that position has actually been a problem for me ever since I upgraded from Rising Star Kenny Vaccaro, who is still one of the best pass coverage safeties in the game. Team of the Year Buffet has impressive stats, but I honestly can't remember the guy ever making a single play with 0 forced fumbles and 0 interceptions. He also kind of feels awkward to users, so that's usually why I sub in Calvin Johnson when I'm going to be user in that position and generally in the 3-4 bear. But ever since I started recording games, I have been able to pay more attention to which players on my defense are making plays, and for the most part, every single player has contributed to turnovers and great sacks, but not these two guys. So we're going to go ahead and throw both of our new additions in and see what they can do. Right then, let's jump into the game, and it's a battle of the Bay as my Raiders take on his 49ers, and this was a crazy game. He starts off with the ball and he's handed it off to Frank Gore in second and long, but we got that run defense and stop him for a 2-yard gain. But on 3rd and 12 he gets the huge conversion as Thomas holds on to it after the hit by Quinn. So he goes back and he's running a committed ground and pound scheme, but we stop him for short yardage on 2 running plays, and he's facing 3rd down again, but he converts again as Hopkins hold on to it in traffic. And he was actually mixing it up well, making good reads and avoiding my user, picking up first downs with his passing game. But on 2nd and 6, he decides to run the play action, and he gets a bad break. It's Team of the Year Glover Quinn jumps on the overthrown pass by Dan Marino and gets the pick. For some reason, every game I've uploaded, Quinn seems to make huge play for us, and he's fast becoming one of my favourite players on defence. Now we get the ball back and we're trying to run the ball with Green, but he's defending it well. So we turn to Antonio Brown in 2nd and 6 and he runs a great slant route for the first down. On the next play we go back to the run, but his D-line is just making plays and stuffing us for a loss. So I'm trying some new plays as I go for the wide receiver screen, but he has that locked up and forces me to an early 3rd down that we overthrow and do not convert. Now normally I would always punt in this situation, but I'm just frustrated at this point and decide to go for it, and fortunately for us, Calvin Johnson makes a great catch and falls forward for the first. And now we're trying to get this run game going, but he's having none of it as he stuffs us again for only a 1-yard gain. And on 2nd down, we go again to Antonio Brown, who beats his man to get wide open. Next, I try to catch him in the run defense, but he gets the easy sack as Davis comes off the edge unblocked. But we manage to recover from the sack as he leaves the middle wide open for Jordy Nelson to get the first down. He stuffs the run twice and we soon find ourselves in another 3rd and long, but Otto Graham throws the perfect ball where only Calvin Johnson can get it, and he comes down to give us the huge touchdown. Now my opponent only has 3 seconds left to try and get some points, but he has all 3 timeouts to play with. So he has to abandon the run game, but he does a good job moving the ball up the field as he catches me off guard with the screen, but Glover Quinn holds on to Frank Gore and we manage to stop him and use up another timeout. But he makes a nice play to get himself easily in field goal range, and now we just need to play smart D to hold him to 3. And that's exactly what Peppers does as he comes off the edge to force the incompletion. And even though he had a timeout left with 6 seconds, my opponent does the smart thing and plays it safe and takes his 3 points. And that's good for us as we get the ball to start the second half, and we're still trying to run it, but even in cover 4, he's stuffing me short. Forced to pass, I almost throw a pick on the 2nd, and then we go back to Brown on 3rd, but he drops it after the hit, and this has me so heated. We're going to go for it on 4th, and we survive again on the curl play. On the next play though, I'm handing it off to Aman Green, but he gets pushed over and the ball comes out as he hits the ground, and it's instant karma for not punting on that 4th down. But we catch another break and the fumble gets overturned. But after that lucky break, we tried to get things moving again, and we get a huge 20-yard completion to Calvin Johnson to move us closer to field goal range, but we still cannot run the ball. And then his 86 Corey Redden is going to get the sack, and he makes a mockery of Team of the Year Marshall Yanda. And then on third down, we almost get into field goal range, but we get a huge drop, and now we are forced to punt. And that was our third fourth down of this game already, and this guy is just locking us up on D, so we really need to step up and lock him up too. And he comes out, and for some reason he abandons his ground and pound scheme that was working so well, but unfortunately for him, we have the 6'7" Julius Peppers, who makes huge back-to-back plays and forces the fourth down, and he's decided to go for it. And he's going to make a strange decision here as he takes the dump off, and MVP Epic Berry comes down and makes his first contribution to get us the turnover. And we want to try and take quick advantage of that stop, but throw an incompletion on first, and then on 2nd and 10 he sends the heaters, and they're going to cut through my Team of the Year offensive line like it wasn't there. And not only is he going to recover the ball, but he's going to take this all the way back for the defensive touchdown and go up 10-7. And at this point, man, I am pissed off, and I decide to start rolling out to avoid his constant pressure, and he is not ready for this at all. Even when I stay in the pocket, I'm getting rid of the ball quickly, getting completions, and he has to start dropping people into coverage, which lets me finally get some decent runs. And man, it makes a huge difference even in the passing game when you can actually run the ball to set up these shorter second downs. And you know, after Green gets us 5 yards on the first, we face a 2nd and 5, and he plays the run, but I'm just going to roll out and take the easy touchdown with Jordy Nelson to take the lead back with only 3 minutes left to play. He needs a touchdown, so we know he won't be going to the running attack as much, but unfortunately for us, he still comes out making his passes, getting his blocks, and converting his third downs. After the 2 morning warning hits, we're trying to keep that clock moving, and we manage to stop Thomas from getting out of bounds, but then facing 2nd and 4, he makes a poor throw into double coverage, but somehow manages to get the completion. And this whole game, this guy has been avoiding my user, but I finally make the wrong read and let Thomas get in free, and he times it perfectly to punish me. And on the very next play, he gets open across the middle again and gets in for the touchdown, and this back and forth game turns in his favour with just over a minute left. Now I need at least a field goal, so I'm going back to what worked the last time and the rollouts, but my inexperience with rolling out shows as I have X wide open, but instead go for the run and take the huge hit. Now we're handing this ball off to Green, who gets us the first and then some more as he puts us within touching distance of a field goal with just over a minute left. But I make a bad decision by running him first, and now we're fighting against that clock, and on 2nd down I almost throw a pick. On the big third down I go for the play action, but he sends a blitz and we almost get sacked. Wish would have ended the game, but instead we scramble to set up the 4th and short. On the crucial 4th and 6 I go for the route to Brown and I throw the pick. And you know, that was deserved. It was a terrible play by me. But at the end of the day, the constant pressure he was sending worked, and at this point I'm just cursing out my offensive line for the lack of protection. But you know, hats off to my opponent. He adjusted well and stopped pretty much everything I threw at him. And all he needs to do now is kneel this out, but he dives to avoid the hit stick, and the ball comes loose and Murray is all over it. What a rookie mistake by him, as Madden chooses the best possible time to give me the fumble back, and at this point I am going crazy. Stupidly wasted timeout, but we still need to get a field goal. So I go for the obvious corner route on the first play, but he locks it up, which leaves us no choice but to go deep or go home. And Calvin Johnson is wide open, and Otto Graham finds him, and somehow Calvin Johnson makes the perfect play by catching it in bounds and then stopping the clock with 2 seconds left. And I was half suspecting this to be called back, but the play stood, and now this game is going to overtime. Unfortunately for us though, he wins the toss and receives the ball, so we need to regain our composure and try and get the big defensive stop. He takes the easy check down to Gore and then hands it back to him as he falls forward for the first. He goes back to that running game on his next play, but JJ Watt stuffs it short and now he's facing 2nd and 9. And look at this, he has all day in the pocket for that crossing route. But Eric Berry says, "Give me that!" And the new boy snags the ball and then takes it all the way to the house for the walk-off pick 6. What a game. What a play to end it. You better believe I'm showing this again. This has to be one of my favourite user picks ever. I just sat there on top of the hitch route to take away the quick read, but the whole time I'm just watching that crossing route and just waiting for the perfect time to jump it. And you have to get it perfect, because if I go too early there, he's just going to take the hitch. And if I go too late, he won't get the pick. But after spending the whole game avoiding my user, he finally tests it and we get it with the perfectly timed snag. And you know, I played absolutely awful at times on offense in this game, so it's only fitting that we get a user pick 6 to seal the game, because my defense has been carrying me through some games and we're now on a 5-game win streak after this win. And what a debut by Eric Berry. He cements his place in the team with 2 huge plays, the stop on the 4th down and then this pick. And you know, the only way I'm going to get him out of the team is if I upgrade him to his 97. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching this as much as I enjoyed playing it. It was just a crazy game from start to finish, and hopefully I'll have more for you soon. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace!